Oh, come, kid, come. You must not look so sour.
It is my fashion when I see a crab.
Fairbanks seemed to arrive later and later each day, which outraged Mary Pickford, who was a real Puritan as far as punctuality was concerned. And it was costing so much money.
When Fairbanks did arrive, he often didn't know his lines. He argued with her in front of the crew. For Pickford, the experience was devastating. My confidence was completely shattered, she confessed, and I was never again at ease before the camera or microphone.
Everyone knew that her career was going on the down curve. And just as she was the first great star to be created by film, she was the first great has-been to be created by film. And everyone watched it. There was no privacy there.
Fairbanks fled from Mary and his career. When a man finds himself sliding downhill, he said, he should do everything to reach bottom in a hurry and pass out of the picture.
Mr. Fairbanks, how long have you been away?
About 6 months.
Have you quit acting entirely, Mr. Fairbanks?
I think so.
In an effort to save their marriage, Mary decided to join him on a long world tour. Fairbanks still thrived on the constant change and attention. Pickford had come to see the emptiness of the flattery and the fans. And she had begun to drink.
We're delighted to be home. I haven't seen such a lovely sight in 4 months and 24,000 miles.
6 months.
Pardon, 6 months. I stand corrected. Oh, Douglas, I'll wager you forgot to stop the milk in Beverly Hills before we left.
Why mention milk after 24,000 miles of light wines and beer? No, just say goodbye. We are now going home. Goodbye.
He was getting depressed, and he began to sort of blindly look for something else, the way she was kind of blindly stumbling around in the dark, looking for the next thing. And he found a next thing in Lady Sylvia Ashley.
Lady Sylvia Ashley was an ambitious English socialite. It didn't take long for Mary to find out about the affair. Still, Fairbanks couldn't leave her, and she couldn't cut him off.
Ma, there's a bee in your bonnet.
Don't be impertinent.
Pickford did the only thing she knew how. She went back to work. Secrets was an earnest portrait of a marriage threatened by the husband's infidelity.
Oh, what's the use? She wouldn't understand.
Some scenes played like an awkward love letter to Douglas.
You want to tell me, don't you, John? That you never once stopped loving me, even when you were most unfaithful.
Secrets was her last movie for United Artists. When it lost money, her nightmare of the empty theater seemed to be coming to life. She realized her starring days were over. I've worked all my life, she said. Work has become my life. I can think of nothing to fill the void. One after another, the losses mounted. Jack died from years of drink and drugs. And then Lottie, from a heart attack. Her life with Douglas was over as well. She filed for divorce. Douglas tried to woo her back, but too much damage had been done. The divorce became final in January 1936.
She was the love of his life. He was the love of her life. And I think that they both felt that they had made a terrible mistake. And I think they both lived to deeply regret that.
She had the horrible experience of having everything fall apart at the same time, losing loved ones, losing her career, losing her husband, losing her celebrity.
She's regarded in the movie magazines and the newspapers as almost a fading antique. What do you do? How do you cope with that? She didn't have an education. She didn't have a philosophical bent. So she began to anesthetize the panic with alcohol.
Mary Pickford kind of disappeared inside that bottle and never came out again.
She began to rely more and more on a new friend, Buddy Rogers, her co-star in her last silent film, My Best Girl. He had fallen in love with her during the filming. She was flattered. Rogers was now focusing mostly on his band music.
He was a nice guy. Would have been a great greeter at a casino, a hotel. It's always happy. Nobody's as happy to see anybody as Buddy was to see everybody.
A year after her divorce from Fairbanks, Mary and Buddy were married.
She'd call him Douglas constantly in front of other people. And he would just try and laugh it off. But it had to hurt. I think for Buddy Rogers, Douglas Fairbanks was always hanging over Pickfair mid-leap.
In December 1939, Fairbanks had a heart attack.
When Douglas Fairbanks was just hanging on to life, he had one of his brothers tell Mary Pickford that he had a message for her. It was by the clock. It was always a phrase between them that meant, my heart belongs to you.
Mary could not bring herself to attend the funeral. She lived on in Hollywood, attending openings, hosting charity events at Pickfair, and trying to find new work.
She tried radio. She tried theater. She tried producing. It was all unsuccessful. Her luck vanished, partially because I think her instrument, her values, her sense of herself as a performer were corroded by alcohol and fear.